Hello, lovelies. It's you here from Golden Thread Tarot, here to bring you another message. I hope this message finds you blessed and full of abundance as always, my loves, okay? So, I'm not 100% sure whether or not I'm going to post this publicly or not, but obviously if you guys see this, then we are. Okay, so I have big messages coming in, so if you'll excuse me if I get a little tongue-tied, I have like messages downloading faster than my brain can process, and my tongue can, and my brain can process and turn it into words and come out. So it might be a little hectic, but we're going to sit together. We're going to get this out and we're going to go. Okay. So I already have some cards pulled out here. Oh, what a sneaky little card is. I didn't even see that I was hiding behind that card. Okay. Let's keep going. Okay. So Spirit is saying that there is a possibility for a new timeline. There's a possibility for a new world. Like it's open. It's open, right? It's open. All you have to do, like you're already walking through the door. All you have to do is continue to walk through the door, right? It is time to let this decision. Yeah, it's time to let Spirit wants to say at this point, like Spirit wants you to let go of the illusion of choice, because you kind of already made the choice, right? Because we have the Lovers here in reverse. You've already made the choice. You've already made the choice to. You've put out the intention there, whether or not it's your spirit that has put out this intention. It gives me like this really strong sense of destiny. It gives me this really strong sense of like it's a fated thing, like it has to happen, or it is happening, or you've already put the intention out there, like yes, okay, I'm ready, let's go. Whether you feel like you're ready or not, because that's what it kind of feels like. Do you know that feeling when you've gone to a theme park and you are strapped in, you're there, you're on the roller coaster, okay, and it's about to take off. Maybe you're on one of those like slingshot roller coasters that like takes off immediately, but it's that kind of like nervous, anxious feeling, like I'm here, I'm strapped in, we're going, like Jesus take the wheel, like my hands are off the wheel, I really don't have control of this, it's about to slingshot, it's about to take off, it's about to go, it's go time. But it's still that kind of anxious, nervous feeling, like the choice has already been made, like we're already here, like I'm not gonna say no. But I still have this anxiety, anxious feeling like, oh, it's going to happen, it's going to happen, it's going to happen any minute now. So this choice has already happened to help you. You've already made a choice. Your soul's already made a choice. You have already made a choice. Maybe you already have put out the intention out there in the universe that even though you're scared, even though you're anxious, you're there, right? You're there and you're right there on the edge, or, it's there. You're already you've already said, okay, come on, let's go. The person has already pushed the button. You're already taken up off, you're already click, 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 click. And there's that moment of anxiety, like when you're like right about to round the top and then the roller coaster pauses there for a second right before you go down. Like that's the moment, because it doesn't feel like, it's like you're already here. Like there is no like, hey, stop. It's here, right? And that's what it feels like. It feels like this roller coaster about to take off, and at the end of it there's like this sense of freedom, there's like this sense of like thrill, there's this sense of like, oh my gosh, that was such a rush, I can't believe I did that, like I was so anxious about doing it, but I'm so glad that it happened. There's that kind of energy, and it's because you have decided to walk away from confusion, right? You've decided to walk away. That was the Seven of Cups, is this card that was sneaky hiding behind this Eight of Cups, right? You have invested so much time and energy in this, right? Seven of Cups over to the Eight of Cups. You are tired of being in confusion. You are tired of not knowing what's happening. It's happening. Again, it's this kind of feeling like, Jesus, take the wheel. I'm just going to leap, or I'm going to just do it, and then like you decide where I'm gonna, like we'll decide where we're gonna land on the way down. Like is that kind of feeling where it's just kind of like it's there, right? It's there, and what are you jumping into? A brand new cycle. The World card. You're jumping into a brand new reality, a brand new timeline, a brand new cycle. It's there. You've already decided to take the leap, and so you are here getting the information with this page of right? Because this Page of Wands is this energy that's already like, okay, I've already taken a leap of faith. I'm already there at the full, and I've already decided to go on this journey. Like I've got my bags packed, I've got my bags packed. I'm already there on the journey, and I don't know, for some of you, it's feeling a little bit of sway back and forth. Like for some of you, you are getting the information now that's like, that's it. I'm packing my bag and I'm going, and you're jumping straight into the full, right? For some of you, you've already packed your bags and you're getting that last text message like, hey, I'm outside. Like, beep, beep, I'm outside. Let's go. And you're like, like, let's go. And you're going towards, right? Nine of Cups. You're going towards Nine of Cups. You're going towards your wish fulfillment. You are getting the information that you need that is going to put you in alignment with your wish fulfillment. Okay. I'm getting very big energy here because we also have Metatron and Sandalphon here. So you are getting, with the sacred connection, with the Metatron energy, like you are getting the downloads to be this kind of, I'm also getting the energy of Archangel Gabriel too. So this is giving me like, okay, you've gotten the message. You've gotten the alert. Your soul has gotten the download. It's time. Okay. And that reminds me of a dream that I just had. And in this dream, I was with someone, and I was in a line of people, and they were all walking up to kind of like this screen, and they were putting in their code to like log in. And I saw the person in front of me. I saw how they put in their code, and I'm like, okay, so I just have to remember this 8-digit code. I have to remember this 8-digit code, and that's how I log in, and that's how I get the information, or that's how I receive or go where I need to go or get to where I need to get to. And then when it was my turn and I got up to the screen next, the person was like, it was almost like the person was like, oh, I see that you haven't logged in a while. Here, let me show you this other way. Or like, here, the screen is giving you another option. It's like, no. And then the person has already moved it, and I'm trying to hold on to this 8-digit code. I'm trying to remember this 8-digit code while I'm explaining to this person, like, no. Just take me back to the regular screen like you show everybody else. I know this 8-digit code, but the computer, the login itself is like, hey, did you know that maybe, hey, I need you to put in all this other information. I see that you haven't logged in 6 months. I need you to put in all this other information before you can get to there. We need you to make a new password. I'm like, oh my God, no, I'm just trying so hard to hold on to this 8-digit code in my mind. I'm saying it over and over and over again so that I cannot lose it. Or it's like, this person is like, oh, hey, here, put in this information first. This is going to be an easier way, a quicker way, a different way for you to log in. And you're just like, no. I don't know none of that. I don't know any of that information. I know this 8-digit code. Just take me back to the screen. That's what I just kept saying. Take me back to the screen that you're showing everybody else. I know that 8-digit code. And I feel, it's like the memory is slipping away. It's slipping away. And I'm just like, please just take me back to the screen. I know my 8-digit code. Just take me back to my screen. Just take me back to the screen. And the person is just talking, and they're like trying to be helpful, but it's not being helpful. You're like, please stop talking. Like, I know you're trying your hardest to be helpful. I don't need all of that. Please just take me back to the screen that you showed everybody else, because the memory of what I'm supposed to be doing is slipping away. And that's what I feel like is happening. That's giving me the 7 of Cups energy. It's this energy that when you came here to Earth, you were like, I know my 8-digit code. I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I know how to log in. I know how to upload, to get those downloads. I know how to log into the system and go, bloop. Oh yes, my name is so-and-so, so-and-so. I'm from so-and-so, so-and-so. And I'm supposed to be doing so-and-so and so-and-so here. And it's like, from like spirit trying to be like, oh, well, maybe you can do this, or maybe you can do that. Or it's like these people that are trying to be helpful here on the 3D. That's like, well, you can do this, and maybe you can do that. And you're just like, stop talking, please. I know, please stop. Like, I'm trying my hardest to not let it slip away. And it's giving me this energy right here, which is the God and the hedonist. And it's giving me this energy here of like, you came here and then got swept up or got lost in this kind of experiencing everything that, that being in the 3D, what being in a 3D form can offer you, the eating, the drinking, the touching, the feeling, the living, the giving birth, being physically intimate with other people, the having, like, it's giving me this very much so like God sent you here on a mission, and you got so wrapped up in this kind of enjoying the pleasures of the 3D life that you got a little mixed up, that you forgot your 8-digit code, and you were like, and so when the login came up and it was like, hey, you know your code, right? And you were like, my code, my 8-digit code. um, Yes, just give me just give me a second. And I'm seeing you there with the person and they're looking at you. They have like glasses and they're like putting their glasses down and like you do remember your code, right? And you're like, yes, just give me a second. And I see like a long line of people behind you like like and you're like, yeah, just give me just a second, it's gonna come back. And you're like, okay, I got it. And this person's like, well, you know what? And they're like, and you're like, you know what? Let me help you. And it's like right before you remember it, it's like this person is like, oh, here, let me go to this other screen. Maybe this can help jog your memory. And you're like, I got it. I remember my code. Go back to the other screen. They're like, well, I have to go all the way through this whole process. Hold on. This is a little outdated system. Hold on. I have to go all the way back through all these screens. And you're like, please just go back. Just hit the back arrow. Please just hit the back arrow. It's right there. Back arrow. Just one little click and we're right there. Before I forget, please come on. That's the kind of feeling that it's giving me. And it's giving me this feeling of like you kind of lost yourself. You could have really gone through something. And it's giving me this energy of you getting lost in the materialism here. And you, in whatever that you went through, right? Whatever that you went through, it gave you this very like why me? God, because I remember when I woke up from that, and I don't know if you guys have heard this term or whatever, like the T-Rex arm, where like you sleep like this because your nervous system is like overwhelmed. Apparently, I had kind of fallen. Oh, it hurts to even put my arm like that. Apparently, I had fallen asleep, and I had like my arms all like T-Rex like underneath me, and I was like, when I woke up, I was like, my arm, oh my God, it hurts so bad because it had like fallen asleep with the way I had fallen asleep, and then when I put my arm out like this to like straighten it and get the blood rushing through it, I hit my arm like really hard. Oh yeah, it's swollen. I hit my arm like really hard on the corner of my nightstand, and I was like, God, why? And I really just got the download that was the whole thing. Like that gives me this whole victim mentality kind of energy here, where it's like, if they're saying read the light attribute, prevents you from letting yourself be victimized or victimizing others. Places material considerations and security above self-empowerment. Yeah, so it kind of gives you this energy of like, I got so lost in the sauce of all the things I could explore, all the taste, all the smells, all the everything of all of the wonderful things, that it feels like I kind of got caught up, and then I started experiencing the more negative side of getting caught up in all of this 3D reality. And it kind of started to make me feel like, oh my gosh, God, like, why am I here? I'm lost here. I can't remember where I am. I can't remember who I was supposed to be. I can't remember what I was supposed to be doing. And it's this kind of vibe here of you had to make your way back around. Like you had to come back through your shadow side, face your shadow side, face any kind of energy that and it's giving me this kind of remembering that the world is always conspiring in your favor. Instead of conspiring to be like, God, why? Why am I going through all this hardship? It's like this flip of perspective of, oh yes, that's right. Actually, I'm not here just not in control of anything that's happening to me. I'm not here just on this ride like with no authority. That's right. That's right. I asked them to strap me into this roller coaster. I remember walking through the amusement park and going, ooh, I want to go on that ride. I want to go down there. What's that called? Earth. Okay, Earth, yes. I want to stand in the line and do this. And you stood in line and you signed your contract. Here you go. Sign the contract saying, everything's okay when you ride this ride. You're like, yep. Cool. Let's go. And you got on it and you're like, woo, this is crazy. And that's what they're kind of showing me. They're showing me you coming to the contract and you being reincarnated, or like you being incarnated here on Earth is like you standing in line and you're like, woo. But on your way through the ride, you totally forgot, right, that somewhere in between standing in line and going into the, getting strapped in and you taking off, you totally, completely forgot. You're like, where am I? What am I doing? What is this? I feel so anxious. I feel so out of control. I am here strapped into this thing, and what am I doing? I'm completely out of control. And then it's like right before, you're going down, you're like, wait a minute. I'm on a ride, aren't I? And then you go down and you're woohoo, 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 And so it's kind of like the difference between being like, just letting go, letting go and just letting yourself feel free, right? It's this kind of vibe of, I'm just going to enjoy this. I'm going to enjoy what this ride is. I'm going to enjoy, right? Because if you don't know what a roller coaster is, if you don't know what's happening, being strapped into that and then being thrown around and then like going in circles and all that stuff can feel like hell. It can feel crazy. It can make you feel out of control. You could be like, why am I trapped here? What is this? And it's like you're stuck on this roller coaster going on it over and over and over again until you face that fear. And then it's like one ride, you finally realize like, wait, I'm on a roller coaster. I'm at a theme park. I'm on a roller coaster. Now I remember. Shit. How did I forget? That's so crazy. How did I forget that I remember now. I remember going in line. I remember I'm here with my friends. We're having a great time. We're having a great day at Six Flags. We're having a great day at Disney or whatever. Non-sponsored. I wish. But, like, oh, that's right. I'm here. And we're on this roller coaster. We're having a great time. You're looking around. You're like, oh, that's right. Here's my friend next to me. Those are my two best friends in front of me. That's my that's my counselor. That's my guide behind me. Like, we're just here and we're having a fun day at a park. I can't believe I forgot that. Like, that's crazy. Woo! Let's go! Woo! Yeah! Oh, to the left. Oh, to the right. Here comes a loop. Woo! Throw your hands up. It's that kind of vibe. It's like, because it would be scary. Think about suddenly if you just woke up and you were on a roller coaster. You would be terrified. You'd be like, what's happening? Oh my God, how did I get here? Blah, this is terrible. I'm being shifted to the left, shifted to the right. We're upside down. Oh my God, who are all these people? What's happening? Right? And it's like somewhere through all of that, you're like, oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. I was here. Right? Right? I am being guided. I'm not just blindly walking forward in my life. I'm not just blindly walking forward in my life. I'm not just a slave being controlled by the strings. I am here. I am here. I am here to enjoy the ride. I'm here to enjoy the ride. I'm here to be romanced by life and to get this awesome story, to go home and take it back and to go back and be like, oh my God, it was so cool. Oh my gosh, you guys, it was so cool. We went there and we had cotton candy and we had these things called pretzels and they were kind of expensive, but they were still so fun. And we went on this ride and we went on this ride and we went on that ride and it was like so cool. There was this brand new ride there called Earth and it was like crazy, man. It was crazy, dog. It was so crazy. I went on the full Avengers experience, dude. It was crazy. It was crazy. We had such a good time. Oh my God, it was like the best time of my life. Like it was so fun. Oh my gosh. I went there and I faced my fear and it was amazing. We had such a good time. I feel so hyped. Like, let's go. That's the feeling, right? That's this feeling that remember the sweetness. Remember how sweet Earth is. Remember that you are this magical being, this magical child who has decided to come here, right? And you are here, and it can get very triggering because you come here, you come through the fog and the shadow of forgetfulness, right? And you just get lost in what you're doing here, and in the everyday grind or whatever's happening and the experiences that you're having here. For me personally, I think lifetime after lifetime, I believe in reincarnation. So it's like you get so lost up in the experience that you forget that that's right. I am an eternal being. I'm an eternal soul here having an experience. And I'm going to be here. I'm going to see people who mirror my experiences back to me, who mirror my fears, who mirror my shadow, who mirror my light. I am here having this experience of life, of what it's like. Right? It's reminding me of, I don't know how many of you watch Rick and Morty, where they go to the, to like that ultimate theme park place where it's like a whole planet that's a theme park, and Morty does that ride, what is it called? It's called like Steve or Bob or something like that. And like you go and you like live a whole life, right? And then like you wake up, and you live like a whole life, and you have like this digital experience of like being put into the matrix, and you live this whole life, and then you wake up and everybody's like, oh, you got a score of this or that, like what are you doing, and it's like, and Morty goes in there and he's just like, well, my life, my family, what's happening? And they're like, calm down, it's just a ride, okay, like just chill, okay? And then Rick goes in there because he's done it so many times, and everybody's like, oh my god, that's so crazy, like look what he's doing with his life, like he's taking him off grid, he's doing all this crazy stuff, because Rick remembers, right? Rick has gone on it enough times that he's awoken and he's remembered, like, oh yeah, that's right, I'm this eternal being, I have all this other stuff to do, like let's go, I'm not getting caught up in the day-to-day life. And it's like, yeah, the more you would, at first when you would come here, that's how it would be. Like you would be coming here and, you would get lost in all this and all that, get lost in the sauce of what it's like to have a 3D being, to have a 3D, get lost in the dynamics of what's happening, your community dynamics, your family dynamics, your country dynamics, your species dynamics. You would get lost in all of this, what it meant to live this 3D world, right? And you forgot, look at this, you forgot that... right? And you really forgot that Earth was here to be your teacher. Look at her with the teacher with the Earth cracked open. Look at that. You're here in this Earth school, remembering, like starting to wake up and remember, oh, that's right. Like I'm on a mission here. I'm supposed to be doing stuff. These kind of trickster energies are, it kind of played this illusion. It played this illusion on me, and I got lost in the sauce of the illusion. And I forgot I am not just this being here in this little box of what I am supposed to be. I'm not just this human, or I'm not just this being. I'm not just this person living in this one body, in this one family, in this one, like I am more. Your soul has been feeling like, hey, you forgot you are more. Your soul has been outgrowing the limitations of where you have been, where your mind has been, where your 3D mind has been, right? Your soul is too big to be trapped inside of this 3D mind. It's grown too great. It's experienced too much. And it's like, yeah, so I filled my quota on just enjoying lifetimes and doing all of this stuff and enjoying the experience, both the experiences, both the light and the shadow aspects of what it's like to be here on the 3D body. But I'm feeling uncomfortable now. Because I've had so much experience, because I've gone through so much. Like, I feel like it's time for something more. That's right. I am more. I am more than just this little house. I'm more than this just little body. I'm more than just this flesh brain and this flesh body. I am more. I am more, actually. I am here. I'm a shapeshifter. I'm here. I am a multi-dimensional being. I am a I am a ever-expanding soul being who is here to plant a seed. Look how that advocate person has planted a seed, and a tree is growing. And I do think that you got lost in the sauce of feeling kind of like this martyr energy, because I have this martyr energy here with this femme fatale energy. It is kind of this kind of, what it's giving me? It's giving me the Madonna horror complex, where it's like, I forgot that I am it's kind of like I can be either I can be this goody or, this goody martyr that's supposed to be here saving everybody, or I can be this like femme fatale, or like Don Juan kind of energy, just using and absorbing and being this hedonist energy. I forgot that I can be this dualistic person who doesn't have to be lost in the sauce of I'm either this or that. Like, I am both light and shadow. I am not one or the other. I am both. I am an eternal being that needs to be in balance of both of them. And I could definitely go deeper with that, like Madonna horror complex stuff, but I'm going to keep it there for now. Yeah. And so, look at that. Yeah. So we have this Avenger Fool energy here. I need to go into this energy now. I need to take off my mask, and I need to remember that I have a purpose here, that there is something here. There definitely can be, like, that's right, I have this world mission here. It's this kind of, oh, that's right, I'm here not just to enjoy, not just to partake, not just to do that. Like, I am here for a deeper purpose as well. Not just that, but I'm also here for a deeper purpose as well. Yeah, I'm on my brother. I just broke something something. I just broke free of my demons. Yeah, that's that Lovelies song. I can't remember. I'm being guided to look up that song. I'm gonna look up that song and look up the lyrics. Hold on just 1 second. Okay, so the song is "What If It's Not Enough" by Lovelies. Yeah, oh, you got me here feeling like I'm on top of the world without a word. Still, I find it hard to hold on to that feeling very long. It slips away. What was I gonna say? Sometimes I forget. Sometimes I'm amazing. Other times I got no head, and I don't feel like I've been running in a. And I don't want to feel like I'm running in a circle. Jeez, wow, that was hard to get out. Am I okay? Yeah, oh, I could use a little rain right now. Yeah, like, so you're planted that seed. It's like, I could use a little rain right now. I could use a little, like, washing away, a little cleaning, diamond in the rough. I don't need anyone to save me. Did it for the love, GD, that drove me crazy. Sometimes I feel like I'm not enough right now. I'm shining though. Shake off all that dust. I plan to leave that ish behind me though. Rock with me. I'm beaten. I just broke free of my demons. Did I mention I've been dreaming? Have I told you yet? Rocking with me. I'm beating. I just broke free of my demons. Yes. So it's like this energy of, like, sometimes I feel like I'm not enough. Sometimes I feel like I'm not there, but I'm walking this healing journey. We had Green Tara coming through with this healing light, wellness unfolding. Know that healing is a journey, right? Hey, like, sometimes I feel like I'm not enough because, I'm walking around. Sometimes I'm lost in this confusion of the sauce of what the 3D world is. Sometimes I get lost in the everyday. Sometimes I get lost in the drama and the BS. Like, sometimes I get lost up in it, right? Like, sometimes Okay, Kuan Yin, choose compassion, move forward with grace. Yeah, sometimes I get caught up in all the ish I've been through, and, this person did this to me, or that happened to me, or this has been rough. I didn't know what to do when this happened, but now that I'm walking in the spiritual awakened state, like, I can be a little bit more present. I can walk through more in my higher self-consciousness and less lost in the sauce of the 3D of ego, of an ego-driven thought process. Yeah, Lady Nada, expanded heart, openness, liberation, love. Let yourself love and be loved. Yeah, there's this kind of cleansing energy here coming to your aura. Yeah, it's like you're shining out. It's like all this energy is shining out of your heart space. Here we also have in both of these images we have, like, the flower kind of unfolding there, right? And it's reminding me of the ever unfolding rose card that is in the, which deck is that? It's not the Starseed Oracle. Is it like the Lightworker Oracle? Something like that. But it's like the ever unfolding rose. It's happening for you. Or no, wait, no, that's the cracked open card. So I'm getting, like, a combination between the ever unfolding rose, which is like life is a journey, and, like, the cracked open card. But because I'm hearing that it's happening for you, not to you. So it's this kind of shift in perspective of, this is all happening for me to remember who I am, to go through oh, that's right. I'm remembering the deeper spiritual lessons. I'm not seeing things such on like a 3D ego based scenario anymore. I'm seeing things much more on like a higher perspective. I'm seeing things as like, you're not just a person here having an interaction with me. We're two souls having an interaction with each other, where we are marrying things back and forth to each other for a deeper purpose. For deeper purpose in life. Things are deeper. That they're not just surface level. Things are deeper than that. We have want here. Divine intervention. Weigh up your option. Choose the highest good. Again, it's this kind of, because we have this judge card here as well. And there's kind of this reborn feeling here with this Virgin card. There's kind of like, I have been born again. I have been born anew. I remember why I'm here. That's right. I remember that I am actually like this really beautiful, innocent soul that's just here having this experience, and I can like take the weight off my shoulders. It's kind of just like, yeah, it's just this kind of feeling of, I can take like this huge weight of expectation, of shame, of guilt, of projection, of, I am not just the mistakes I've made in my life. I'm not just, the past lives that I've lived in darkness. I'm more than that. Everyone is more well-rounded than, because when you get lost in the ego and you get lost in all of that, you forget how everyone here is an eternal soul having an experience, and they are not just defined by who they are in just this one lifetime, or in just one, pick any. For me personally, I think, like I am more than just the decisions that I am making here. Again, I'm hearing a different Lubelin song, and it's Whose Love? Like, I'm hearing that part where it's like, whose love are you fighting for? Right? This is not on the lyrics, but I'm getting with that whose love are you fighting for? It's like, whose approval are you waiting for? Like, who are you waiting for? Is there going to be somebody out there that's like, yes, I approve of you. You have been stamped a great person. Like, is there that one person? Is it going to happen when you find that one relationship? Is it going to happen when you find that job? Is it going to happen? Like, what's going to be enough? Like, what is going to be enough? Like, will it ever be enough? And there's this kind of feeling of take the validation that you're looking for back away from an external source, right? Even for some of you, this is about you realizing that, am I living a life that God would approve of? For even some of you, if you really want to take it there. I mean, I'm not trying to challenge your morality or like your religious belief systems, because I know there's like this whole, there can be, and maybe for some of you, you are facing this kind of shame of like a past life kind of energy, maybe even, or from this life, where it's like, I need to be this type of person to gain approval from the universe. Like, I need to be this type of person for God to love me. Their love is conditional. God only loves me if I'm doing this, if I'm saying this, if I'm a person that's acting this way. And there is this kind of challenge here that, no, God loves you regardless. God forgives you regardless. God's love is unconditional. You do not have to live by a certain rule set to be loved by God. It's unconditional. You can be the worst person making the most terribly morally reprehensible choices, and you're still loved by God. Now, I'm not telling you to go do that. Like, oh, don't worry. You can act a fool and, murk people to the left and to the right, and there's not going to be any consequences. There will be consequences, but it's not a judgment from God. It's just, okay, well, you did that. Well, now, you owe that, you owe that person a karmic debt. It just is the balancing way. And no karma, no lifetime, no situation that you're living is like a punishment. It's not a punishment from God. You're not sitting there thinking like, if I think this way, or if I feel this way, or if I cast this judgment out on somebody else, God's going to punish me. Like, oh, that karma is going to come back. It's not a judgment. It's not like a punishment. It's just a balancing of the way things are. It's this kind of deeper acceptance of, that's just the way things work. That's just the way things are. You know, yes, there are people who choose to walk dark paths out there. That's their free will. There are beings out there who choose to do things in shadow. You know, there are beings out there who choose, who exist in a place where they feed off of pain and hate and think that's, you know, they weren't created with the intention to make people, you know, feel punishment from God. There are beings that live in the light and there are beings that live in the shadow. That's just the way things are. That's just the balance of the universe. Nothing is personal. Nothing is a personal judgment that's being cast on you by the universe. And there's this kind of feeling of like, okay, if that's the truth of the universe, that I don't have to live my life in shame and in blame. Now, that doesn't mean, you know, and again, this could be a kind of thing where this feeling has been casted upon you by other people, by other 3D beings that feel this judgment. It could have been casted upon you by entities that feel like they're being judged by God, being cast down into hell. It's that there is this kind of feeling that there is this introduction of this fear into the consciousness of all beings that God doesn't love me if I act like this. I won't get approved. I won't, you know, I'm a bad person if I do this. And there is this kind of transcendence of that kind of fear, shame, guilt cycle that spirit is lifting you out of, where it's like, really, all things considered, I'm not, you know, I'm not a bad person. I know, you know, as long as I live a life that I am pleased with and that I'm happy with, that lines up with my morality, and I'm happy with what my morality is, you know, I can transcend beyond that. And even me, myself, I feel like the need, that egotistical need of saying like, oh, well, how can you say that? Because some people choose to be serial killer, you know, serial unalivers and things like that. And it's just like, more, am I saying that morally I agree with that? No, I don't. I don't agree with violence against other people. But there is this kind of transcendence of beyond, hey, you're breaking the law and you're going to go to jail for that. There is this kind of transcendence of finger pointing. There is this kind of transcendence of judgment. Like, there is this transcendence of, I don't need to go around casting ill judgments on other people because and we've been talking here because I've been judged. There's this kind of energy of, I've been judged, so I have had this really strict morality placed upon me. So I am going, and I have been told, this is what makes you a good person, this is what makes you a bad person, and it's given me this very small box. So at some point in your life, you might have felt like very boxed in. For me personally, I know I'm being guided to share. For me personally, this kind of transcendence of this energy is this kind of energy of, with me being born in a feminine body, there is this energy of like, why can a man do something and a woman do something and they get judged completely different, you know, and they get judged completely different for doing it. And I'm not so much about this warring of the sexes, what sex is better than the other. I think that both have their flaws, that both have their strengths, of course, you know. But there is this kind of, for me personally, transcending a shame aspect in that. And there definitely, for you, there could be this, and I feel that really strongly in the energy. It's here in the heart space of this, like, it's kind of like this transcending this kind of energy of, I'll be punished if I have fears, or if I have desires, if I have strong emotions, if I want, period. If I have a want for something, I'm going to be punished for having a want, having a need, having a, asking the universe for too much. I'm ungrateful if I ask the universe for more, or I'm ungrateful if I have a want or I have a desire. For me personally, I hear a lot of, and I'm not sitting here trying to buck hundreds of thousands of years of Eastern philosophy or anything like that, but there is this kind of desire is the root of all suffering, and it's this kind of energy of like, then you need to get rid of your desires. And I personally think that it's not about getting rid of your desires, it's getting rid of the shame of having a desire. There's nothing wrong with having a desire, having a want. But there is this kind of like, and that could be me personally, maybe I just haven't been an evolved enough of a person to understand the deeper context of what that means. And maybe that is the evolution as a soul, as a conscious being that I'm kind of going through, of being like, it's not necessarily about having a want, having a desire, and that being the root of all your suffering. Right? Like, I'm suffering because I can't stop myself from desiring or wanting things. Of course you can't. Like, you're in a 3D vessel. You're in a 3D body. Like, there is this kind of transcendence of denying yourself, even to the point where like I don't know, maybe you took some kind of vow of chastity. Maybe you took some kind of vow of stoicism, or to not want material things, to be like, to the point where maybe you could have even been one of those like monks or something in a past life that starved yourself, that transcended to chasing after nirvana so much that you even denied yourself food, that there was this kind of like, I have a devotion to God, to the universe, that transcends above my earthly need to even eat or sleep or something like that. This kind of like way on the other side of the scales, right? Of where it's like, oh, I was lost in lust, and I was lost in desires, and I was lost in enjoying all of the earthly pleasures. And then also this kind of swing on the other side of, to the point where you're just like, I am transcendent above having this earthly body, to the point where I will revoke the very things and deny myself the very things that make this body live, to reach a transcendence. Like, of course you're going to transcend, because you're going to die and you're going to transcend. I'm not trying to, those people were on their own journeys, right? And for me personally, like, I know a lot of people have a lot of really good things that come out of like fasting and things like that. I have never been a person that's like, has ever been drawn to fasting. Yeah, I just heard my higher self say, when you've lived lifetimes starving almost every day, you don't feel like fasting anymore. Like, that's enough fasting. That's enough denying myself. Like, when you've lived lifetimes so poor, yeah, I just heard that from Aladdin, that street rat riffraff. When you've lived lifetimes, living on the street, pretty much like existing off of like a couple of bites of bread a week, your whole entire life, you stop saying like, okay, maybe I'm transcending by not eating. Because, well, there's a difference between making that devotional choice of, I could be eating if I wanted to, and the fact that I am, I'm a starving person on the street, not wanting, wanting but never being able to have. Yeah, go tell a starving person on the street, all you have to do is transcend beyond your want to have food. Like, cool, yeah. And I'm not saying that that's what those people are saying, but there is this kind of, you've lived a lot of different lifetimes, you've lived a lot of different things that you've been through. And so I definitely feel like for some of you also, and obviously I'm not a medical professional, I feel like for some of you also, if you have had a struggle with food, had a struggle with, like, if you feel like gluttony or you feel like overindulging has been an issue for you in this lifetime, it definitely could be because you have lived past lifetimes like completely denying yourself. Like maybe you lived as a virgin for your whole entire life, or like I said, you were, whether or not it was your choice or not, maybe you lived lifetimes of going without food for days and days on end. And there is this kind of energy of stop holding yourself up to this expectation that if you're like a real spiritual being or a real religious person, or you really actually, you would be fasting, you would look like this, you would feel like that. There is this kind of energy of let that go. Let that go, because each of us are living our own path, walking our own path and our own way to whatever type of divinity really resonates deeply with us, within us. And not all people who are, first off, we're all here spiritual beings having a spiritual experience, right? Everyone here, every single person that you've ever met, that you ever will meet, that you will ever see, all of the beings that you'll ever meet or come into contact with, we are all spiritual beings having a spiritual experience, every single one of us, right? So all you have to do is exist, and you are a spiritual being having a spiritual experience, okay? Now, what that looks like is going to vary deeply for all of us, right? Because all of us are not meant to walk this very social media approved, this is what a guru looks like, this is what an empress looks like, you're supposed to have this, and you're supposed to wear white, and you're supposed to be a vegan, and you're supposed to feel like this about that and about this, and you have to be doing that. And you know, if you're a real social justice warrior, you'll be out there doing this and doing that. You have to, otherwise you're a fake, you're a poser, you're that. It's this kind of break yourself out of this performative need to look a certain way, to be a certain way, to act a certain way, to consider yourself a good person living a spiritual experience. Whatever you're doing right now, you're already doing it. Like, you're already doing it. Yeah. And we have Master Hilderon here with Divine Emergence. Be seen, let the world know your gifts. There is something special here about your brand and your, like, your brand. Yeah. You're, like, who you are. Like, who you are as a person. There is something here special about the way you see the world, about the way that you walk through the world. It has a place here, and it has a place of being seen here, of being acknowledged, of there's something here that you have that people need to know about. Now, what that number of people looks like, whether or not it could just be in your family, whether it could just be your neighbors and the people you walk past in the grocery store, or it could be on a global scale, I don't know. But there is something here about your existence changing things. Yes, with this Shiva karmic release, the end of a cycle, debts are paid, choose your destiny. Again, we talked about that in the very beginning, right? There is this kind of energy here of leave this cycle behind, of feeling like you have to look like this, you have to be like this. Your karmic debts are paid. Your karmic energy is balanced out. Leave that behind. And this is definitely a thought process, you guys. This is a thought process here inside of yourself. Different sides of yourself looking into the mirror, coming into this. Yeah, I'm seeing like something like looking into the mirror and like okay, I remember. I recognize who I am. I remember why I'm here. I remember that all of this stuff has just been stuff that's just made up things that have all just been poured inside of me. You have to look like this, and you have to feel like this, and you have to do like this, and you have to be this color, or you have to sound like this, or you have to have this eye color, or you have to, it's all shit that we've all made up, you know, to put a hierarchy amongst ourselves. It's all our egos barking, back and back, projecting, and finger pointing. You can only be a good person if you have this level of education. You can only be a good person if you live in this type of house. If you do this, if you do that, all of it. All of it. If you have this type of morality, if you do this or you do that, or you've never been to jail, or you've never had this, or you've never made this choice, or you've looked like this, or you wear this color, or you look, all of it. It's all just 3D matrix chatter, chatter, right? It's all stuff we tell ourselves to make ourselves feel better about who we are as a person. Because we think all this shit in front of us is what makes us who we are. And we forget that it's about the soul. It is about deeper than the skin. It is about deeper than this flesh. It is about deeper than the walls that house us, or the clothes that we put ourselves on, or where we are in the world that the sun shines down on us. It's not even about the fact that there is a sun. It's not even about the fact that there is an earth. It's more than that. Zoom way, 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 way far out and get a much higher perspective. It's all just made up shit that we've poured inside of ourselves. All of it. Ooh, light transmission. Wounds healed, important information charging up. And there's this kind of liberation, this kind of deeper freedom that comes to mind when it's like, oh yeah, that's right. None of this shit matters. None of it matters. You know, whether I have a partner or whether I don't, whether I have kids or I don't, whether or not, I have a house or I don't, whether or not I have a job or whether I don't, all of it, and don't get me wrong. I do understand that we are here having a 3D experience, and that does mean, in the end, it really doesn't even matter. You don't even have to have a house. You don't even have to have a life here, right? You don't even have to be incarnated in the 3D, because we get so lost up in that you can still have an experience and have none of that. You don't even have to have a life. You don't have to have a living, breathing body to be having an experience here. Zoom way the fuck out. Spirit saying, go with it. Go with it. Because my 3D logic brain wants to be like, well, I understand. You still have to eat. You still have to live. You still have to pay bills. But Spirit saying, stop with the 3D shit and let yourself zoom way, way out. Right? Because when it really comes down to it, none of that shit matters. Because all of that shit can get taken away right now. Even the breath inside of your body. And you would still be a being transcending beyond that. Because you are a being that transcends beyond even having a body. So, all this shit, all this relationship dynamics, all this shit, none of it matters. And if it's holding you back, let it fucking go. Because you could drop down right now, breath, soul, out of your body, and it could all mean nothing right now. And life would go on. It would not be life as you know it in the 3D, but life would go on. Your existence would transcend. Right now, none of it, all the things that you're worried about, all the people that you're worried about disappointing, all the moral choices that you've ever made, all of the arguments you've ever had, all of the relationships you've ever had, all of the things you've ever said, all of the things that you've ever done, it could disappear right now. Just like that. You could leave your body right now and it could all be over right now. And when you transition over, when you zoom way, way out, all that shit does not matter as much as you think that it does. Because that is the roller coaster ride of being locked into a 3D body. It's part of the experience that you think all this shit matters so much. Because you are in a 3D vessel that prioritizes life. That is what the ego is. I need to live. I am a biological being that needs to reproduce, that needs to eat. Well, you have the instinct to reproduce whether or not your body can or not, right? I have this instinct that I need to eat, I need to sleep, I need to shit, I need to eat, I need to reproduce, right? That is the coil of morality, right? It's a part of the experience. It's not to be demonized. But don't forget that That's just what it is. Don't get so locked up in it that you forget about the deeper meaning of a soul of what you're doing here. Don't get so lost in the sauce. Why am I hearing that? Why am I hearing that little boy where he's like, I love corn. It's got the juice. That's so random. I don't know. Are some of you eating corn? I don't know. I love corn. I feel it. I feel that little boy on a deep level. It like, I think maybe because he's just like a little kid, like uninhibited by anything else, and he's just like, seriously, right now, I am vibing on this corn. I am here at this little fair. Wasn't that where he was? He was like at a fair or at like a little festival or something, and he had a corn, just a simple corn on the cob on a stick, and he's like, I love corn. It's got the juice. Corn's good, boy. Like, what you talking about? Right? Like, and I think that's what it is. Like, Spirit wants you to go back to a much more innocent place of like joy in life, of just being like, I'm just here to create. I'm just here to experience. I'm just here to love. I'm just here. I am here to do all of those things. I am here, but I'm not necessarily a being here that needs to get trapped up in the wheel of work, all of these like expectations that have been put on me by all these other beings here, right? I need to live a life free of their expectation, right? My life, the purpose of my life will not be whether or not my parents approved of me. The ultimate purpose of my life will not be whether or not I had that job or not. It will be something more than that. It will be whether or not I lived a satisfactory life. And there is something here about freeing yourself from the expectation. There is something here about you have been encumbered by this external expectation of society telling you need to be the type of person I approve of. You need to be the type of person that is living these rules and these expectations that we all as a society have just fucking made up and decided that that's the way the world works. But I'm not saying that, that years of life and culture and morality and things like that are meaningless, because that's also a part of things that make people and having a 3D vessel so freaking cool, right? It's like, get back to the coolness of that. Get back to a place where you can just enjoy it, where you can observe it and enjoy it and be like, it's so awesome. It's so awesome that, that we have culture and that we have music and that we have art and that we have relationships and that we have language and that we have all these forms of expression, that we have all these different emotions and that we're all here having like this wild ride of an experience. It's so freaking cool, right? Because at the end of the day, it all doesn't matter, but it is all simultaneously meaningless and very meaningful all at the same time, right? Because at the end of the day, an asteroid could come flying through space and destroy the Earth tomorrow, and the world and the Earth and everything that has ever been could be wiped out of existence within a few hours. And in the grand scheme of the universe will not even notice that we're not here. Like, on an energetic level, there are plenty of beings out there that love Earth and care about Earth and would be sad that the species didn't exist anymore. Don't get me wrong, right? However, the overall universe would just keep on ticking. You know how many worlds are out there that happens to? You know how many worlds go nuclear and they just vanish? Just like that, without us as humans never even knowing. Hundreds of thousands, millennia of history, of culture, of expectations. And we never even knew that it existed. We never even knew that we lost anything. Because there are civilizations out there right now at the brink of extinction. And we have no idea. Right? There are also planets out there and places out there that are on the brink of evolution, that are on the brink of life, life growing and being and evolving and being at the very just crucial, like, oh shit, the stuff that it's about to line up. and DNA or whatever their form of whatever it is about to happen, man. And we're here. And you're here like, my bill is due and I need to do this and I need to move that around and Johnny has soccer practice and all that's happening out there. You have no fucking idea. You have no fucking idea. Right? So understand, like, in that way, where there is so much shit happening all the time and the world is so much more than the everyday grind you get lost in, that's why I say all of this is meaningless. The world will keep ticking. Existence will keep happening. You know, you never know. So stop living your life in a way that your parents, that your neighbors, that other people all will be like, I approve of this, and live it in a way that you fucking approve of, and don't worry about anything else. Because at the end of the day, when your soul leaves your body, whatever day, whatever time, whenever time that is, whatever year that is, whether or not it's in 5 minutes or it's in 100 years, when that moment happens, none of that shit will matter. What society, what your country, what your religion, what all of that said, none of that shit will matter. And when it all melts away, all that'll matter is the life that you decided to live. Were you happy? Were you satisfied? Did you feel truly, actually happy and unencumbered? You know, what relationships did you have? Who did you honor? What did you create? All of that stuff is what will actually matter. Spiritual force field. Protective light is surrounding you. You are safe. Exactly. What are you waiting for? What are you so scared of, my love? You're so scared of, and I get it. You're scared of abandonment. You're scared of disapproval. You're scared of, standing out, of being the odd one, being the oddball, being someone. Because sure, saying, oh, be that person that just lives unencumbered and doesn't care about anybody else. Look, humans are also, right, a social creature. We have a very deep energy of, in the past, social improvement meant life or death, meant whether or not you survived, whether or not you ate, whether or not you had people watching your back when you were sleeping, when we lived out there in the wild, right? And there's some places that are still that way now, and that is just a function of existence. It's just a function of you having a body that has a defense system that wants you to live, that wants you to survive, But there is this kind of energy here of transcending beyond that, because you are more than just this body. You're more than just this body telling you have to exist in this certain type of way. And the majority of people don't want to live as some weirdo social pariah that nobody wants to talk to or interact with or have any kind of functions with or anything like that. I mean, some people love it. Some people love being alone, but the majority of people don't like that, and I understand that. The Atlanteans, evolution, vibration, legacy, technology, progress, expect acceleration. Again, that's that roller coaster feeling of when you accept this, because there is this kind of feeling of karmic contract, karmic acceptance, giving yourself the freedom that you're desiring. Like, stop waiting for God or for your spirit guides or for somebody to give you the acceptance, to give you the, you're good. Like, you're good. Go. Like, you got it. Like, the universe is conspiring to say, yeah, you got it. Get it. Yeah, you got it, but you got to see that you got it. You got to see that you got it. You got to see that you're good. You got to see that, nothing's holding you back. You got it. If you're waiting for the thumbs up, you already got it. You've been had it. You've been had the thumbs up before you were even incarnated here in this body. You got the thumbs up. You've been had the thumbs up. So, Kuan Yin, enlightened action. Step into that enlightened action. Choose compassion for yourself and for other people. And move forward with grace. Move forward. Move forward with grace and ease and understand the karmic cycle that you've been trying to break out of. All this karma, all of this everything, it's breaking. It's over. It's done. Transcend. Hello. We have Saint Germain here with the violet flame. Alchemy. Release the old. Make way for the new. Exactly. So make way. I just heard that other part from Aladdin, that make way for Prince Ali. So I don't know if there's this kind of energy of like you've made a wish to have a different life, to be a different person, to have like this very like I was on the street and now I'm like a prince, you know, kind of, if you've made some kind of ask for God to come in and really change your life, you know, to basically like have a magic oil lamp and have a genie and be like, I want to be a completely different person, you know, I want to have a completely different life. Like there is this kind of energy of waking up to that. Yeah, and Spirit says it doesn't have to be in the like fake way, kind of how like Aladdin was trying to be this different person. There is something here too about being careful about faking being a different person for approval, right? Because that's what he was doing. He was like, oh, I love Jasmine, but Jasmine will never choose to be with me because I'm just a nobody. So I have to pretend to be this prince, you know? I have to pretend to be this different person to get her approval, or to get that approval from her father. The Sultan will never allow her to marry a street rat. There is something here about the like go forth and make your life in authenticity, not doing it for approval, not doing it because you're worried about the clicks or the views, not doing it because you're worried about whether or not other people on the outside approve of it. Make it for you. Make it because you're just like, oh, I wish this product existed, so make it. Like, I'm so passionate about this, so talk about it. You know, I love this and I just can't get enough of it and I have such a good time doing it. Okay, so do it. You know, it doesn't have to. Yeah, there's just something here about like just break free, just stop, just break free, just create from this place of purity, from this place of, you know, reinvent yourself, not because, well, I need to reinvent myself if I ever want to find a partner, or if I ever want to have this approved, if I ever want my product to sell, I have to reinvent myself and I have to look like this and do like this because the algorithm says this and that. It's like just create from a pure sense of joy and passion. Right? Let go and break free of all of these kind of like expectations, because that that creating from a place of I want, create from a place of just purely like I want to express myself. I want to create for the joy of it, not I want to create to be approved by someone else outside of myself. And that's going to create this huge paradigm shift here for you. It's going to be a huge shift here. Activate to grow, make the necessary change. Exactly. And then we have transcending fear. Facing fears leads to fearlessness. Embrace your power. Exactly. Woo! Again, it's giving me that forged through the fire sort of type energy. Be mindful of the seeds that you were planting, because there was something here about planting those seeds in authentic ways. You know, planting those seeds, wanting to get into relationships, wanting to have friends just because you want approval, or wanting to have people that it feels very karmic. There's something very kind of like, there's some kind of karmic lesson there, all in that. So, you know, there's something here about making choices from a place of authenticity within yourself. There's still like this energy though of like releasing some kind of fear or some kind of judgment here as well, or fear of judgment. Fear of judgment, fear of persecution, fear of isolation. I don't know. Maybe some of you in the past got, what was it called? Excommunicated. Like maybe you made a decision, or you wrote about something, or you taught something, or you were preaching about something, and you got excommunicated from the church, excommunicated from a community, you know? And you had this very like feeling of like damnation, like I'm being damned, I'm being rejected. Um being rejected for being who I truly am, believing what I truly believe in has cost me something. Maybe, there is some kind of wound there around that, whether that be in this lifetime, past lifetimes. But Spirit is saying here, like, you are safe, you are protected. You're being safe, you're being protected. Because there definitely could have been this energy of like, first off, Spirit, hold up. Do you remember when I was like, you're right, Spirit, I should just be who I am, and then they tied me up to a tree and burned me? Do you remember that? Like, there's this whole thing about you being like, just be free, it doesn't matter, when it very much so has mattered before, like, I also don't want to experience that. I also, don't want to get stoned. I also don't want to be excommunicated and banished to a cave somewhere because I am following my belief system. This new belief system that I'm transcending, and I'm so much more. But it's like, well, you still were transcending. You were so much more than that person who got tied to a tree. You were so much more than just that person that lived the rest of their life in a cave. And although that could definitely be some of the shadow part of the experiences here that can get you caught up and lost in the ego, right? It is those experiences that keep you lost in the fog, right? Keep you lost in the sauce of the importance of the importance of what the physical life that you live looks like and what that means. Like, and this is something that is kind of, because I can definitely feel my ego being like, the fuck are you about to say? But like, there is something here about like, well, maybe that's the life you were meant to live in that lifetime. Maybe you were meant to live in that cave for the rest of your life for your beliefs. Like it wasn't a punishment. It might have been a 3D punishment, and you might have gotten judged by other people, but it wasn't God punishing you. It wasn't God saying that you don't deserve that. And maybe for some of you, it was the fact that you had, a whole town folk of people around you saying, God, we are doing this because God is punishing you for being who you are. That was never God. It was never God punishing you. And you might have thought, then why did God allow it to happen? Because people have free will. People have free will to choose to live the life that they want to live. And it can be very hard to say, like, to kind of get this feeling that, like, if I do right in my life, that means that I should be entitled to the privilege of never going through bad, terrible, horrible things. And unfortunately, that's not true. That's not a truth of the world, the way the world works. We're not entitled to live a perfectly fine life where horrible, bad things never happen to us. We're not entitled to live a life that doesn't have death in it, that doesn't have starvation in it, that doesn't have, slavery in it, that doesn't have genocide in it. We're not. And it can be really hard to say, how can I live in a world that believes in God and then also has all these terrible, horrible things happening in it? Just because there is a God and just because you're given a life does not mean that you're entitled to live a life without all those things. All of those things are a part of the 3D experience. They're a part of somebody out there has made the choice to do that. Somebody made that choice to have that war. Somebody made that choice to step into a paradigm where they believed that one race of people was better than the other, and then other people followed behind them. People have that free will and have that choice. It is the truth of the way the world is. And it can be a horrible truth to realize that. But just the way that you have the right to make the choices that you make in this world. they have the right to make theirs. And it is a horrible truth that those truths, those decisions, whether they be to feed the whole world and to solve hunger or to blow it up in nuclear war, are all choices that people are allowed to make. God loves us all enough to give us that choice. And like I said, that doesn't mean that there won't be some kind of karmic debt from making those choices, because those choices affect the destinies of a lot of other people. They affect whether or not a person, whether some people live or pass over. They affect other people. It changes things around. It changes countries. That comes with karma. Whether you're doing it to save the world or whether you're doing it to destroy it, it all comes with karma. Because that's just another function of the way the universe works. Things have to be balanced out. And there is this kind of acceptance, like, maybe I wasn't. Maybe I was doing nothing wrong and I still paid the price of my life. Maybe I was a perfect person that made all the right decisions in my life and never wished harm on a fly, and I still was judged by by my fellow humans for it. Or non-humans. I don't know how far back in our choices that we're talking about going here, how many past lives we're talking about going back here. But there is this kind of feeling of face that it's all a part of, hey, excuse me. Hold on just one second. Sorry about that. And it's this kind of acceptance of like, yeah, you could have done nothing wrong. Maybe you did nothing wrong. Maybe your people did nothing wrong. Maybe the people that believed in the religion that you believed in did nothing wrong. Maybe you were doing nothing but just expressing yourself. Maybe you were doing nothing but having joy. Maybe you were doing nothing but dancing around. Maybe you were doing nothing but walking down the street and trying to pull up your skirt, so it didn't get dirty and your ankle popped out. Like, who knows? Maybe your child did nothing wrong and did not deserve to be judged or whatever happened. Whatever it was, you probably didn't. Or even if you did do something and other people decided that no, like what you did was worth being punished with your life being taken away, even if you did, that doesn't have to define you for the rest of your existence. Because life in this existence is more than just about whatever happened to you. Yeah, some of you are so like wound up. Like I can feel it. There's like this feeling of being wound up and being caged up. Like there's all this energy and all this expression that just wants to burst out of you, that wants to be expressed, that wants to be explored, that wants to, there's like there's a whole life out there inviting you to experience it outside of this box that you're keeping yourself in. We have Isis with reclaiming your magic, call back your power, and what is rightfully yours. And this Hanuman, devoted warrior, let God's love hold you in strength. Yeah, let God's love and God's endless approval of you. If you're waiting for, like I said, if you're waiting for the approval, you have it. If you're waiting for the you're a good person pat on your back, you have it. If you're waiting for the, you're right, you didn't deserve that to happen to you, and I'm so sorry you experienced it, you have it. Or if you're down on your knees begging for forgiveness, like, God, I'm so sorry that I did that. I'm sorry that I made that mistake. I'm sorry that I made that choice. You have it. hmm God's love holds you in strength for overcoming this shadow side, this ego side, this devil side, right? Of what the world is. Allow yourself to step into this prosperity vibration of understanding that bad things might happen to you. Terrible judgments might happen. People might misjudge you and not understand you, and you know, your tire might break or your house might burn down or something might happen. None of that is happening because God's punishing you. Sometimes shit just happens in life. Get out of this mindset of checks and balances, like, oh, if something bad happens to me, it must be because I've made a decision. Well, it must be because I made that passing judgment of that person when I was walking through the supermarket. So I came home and my my house was a mess or something, and so that is a judgment of God that, I did something wrong, or that it's a punishment, or there's some of you here that are too worried about, like, keeping up with the checklist of karma. Like, oh, I did that. Karma's going to come back on me in some type of way. And you're looking for it, looking for it, looking for it, waiting for it to come. And then some big, major, or some minuscule thing happens. And you're like, oh, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Karma was going to come back on me for doing that, or saying that, or thinking that, or believing that, or having that passing thought. I knew it. I knew it. Like, there's something here about that. Let go. Let go of that. Mentor. Uninhibited. There's something here about being uninhibited. Mystic. Revels in the intimate union with the divine. Yeah. There's something so healing about this mentality that's going to come to you. About this level of freedom that's going to come to you. Yeah, there's some kind of block here. There's something that you're either trying to block out, or you're just trying to forget, or that there's something that feels like you're blocking it off, and you feel like it's God that's blocking you off, but it's not God. There's something inside of you that thinks you're not worth it, or thinks you're not ready for it. And it is this kind of energy here of this, like, shame, it must not come, it hasn't come to me because I don't deserve it. It hasn't come to me because I made that mistake, or because I did that thing, or because, there's something here where, like your spirit guides and God, like, you source everything on ours. It's like, it's not on our side. Like, I'm so sorry, it's not on our side. The block is not coming on our side. The block is in you receiving it. Because for some reason, you, the magnificent, wonderful, honorable, decent person that you are, something, you don't feel like you deserve it for some reason. And they're not trying to make you feel pressured or make you feel like, oh, it's another thing. It's just me. Everything's my fault. It's not. It's not your fault. But there is something here about a mindset of you forgetting that you're just like this divine child living an experience. Let go. Let go. Allow yourself to just receive. Allow yourself to have this experience. Yeah, there's something here about taking off this mask. It could be some kind of, it's definitely some kind of self-judgment here. It's some kind of story that you're telling yourself. This is some kind of story that you're telling yourself, that because you did this or because you said that, and it could be very deeply subconsciously buried inside yourself, inside some of your experiences that you've had. How can they let go of this unconscious belief system? Conscious or how can they let go of this belief system? How can they let go? I'm hearing face it. Face it, face it, face it. Like, face it. Like when you... There's something here about facing and becoming more aware of like the ways that you self-sabotage yourself out of having this. You know, it's that, oh, I want to do it, but I never research it. Oh, I'd love to do that, but I never, you know, I go buy the stuff, but I never make the time, or I don't ever make the time to research it. I don't ever make the time to go and take that class. I don't ever pull up and say, okay, is there a class? Is someone teaching a class in my area to do that? How much does it cost? I don't ever start, you know, or even if I do that, I don't start putting the money to the side, or in that moment I look and I tell myself, oh, I could never get off work to go do that, or go travel and go there, or go do that. There's something here about like you hold yourself back. It's more in your hands than you think that it is, you know, because there's this kind of feeling of like, oh, if it's meant to be, I'll just leave it up to Spirit's hands. And there's something here again, they're showing me that enlightened action, like, no, you know there's something, you know there's a feeling in your soul that you want to take that class, that you want to learn how to do that you want to open up that business, that you want to type that message and send it out to that person, that you want to make that connection, that you want to have that experience. So give it to yourself. Allow yourself to have it by taking enlightened action, because spirit can't make everything happen. Like some things really have to come on your end. Like, you know, you have to choose to open up your, you know, to sit down, to open up your laptop or open up your computer and sign up for that class. You have to choose to buy that book. You have to choose to start that conversation. You have to choose to walk across that stage, to walk across that room, to stand up, to say, actually, I think this. You have to make that choice. Spirit is not... like the place where you are now, whatever it is, Spirit is saying, babes, like you have to do it. You have to stop leaving everything in our hands, because you're the one here having this 3D experience. Make it, build it, you know, and don't forget, you know, you are this eternal child having this experience here. Determination to remain young in body, mind, and spirit. Ability to see things with fresh eyes. Exactly. So blink off the expectations and the fears and the judgments and the whatever it is that you've been letting yourself hold you back, and understand, like, there's this kind of like reclaim your power. You have the power. You are capable of making this exist. You are capable of building this. You are capable of learning this skill. You are capable of building that business, making that creation, sitting down and just starting, learning how to do it. Give yourself the time, attention, energy, whatever it is that you need. Give yourself what you need and just do it. Make the choice to do it. And Spirit's going to rise up to meet you. Spirit is going to rise up to meet you, and they're going to put you in the right, you know, you have to choose to walk into the room. They're going to put the right people in that room. They're going to, you know, they're going to help you. But you have to choose to sit down and sign up for that class, or sign up for that thing, or, you know, join that group. They're going to put the right conversations in your path, but you have to choose to have them. I mean, Spirit can have the right person DM you right now, but if you don't make the choice to pick up your phone or open your laptop and DM them back and start a conversation back, what can they do? You know, you can get the ball rolling right now. There's nothing stopping you from taking that step. You have all the information that you need. You know what you're supposed to be doing. You got it. Now it's just up to you to choose, to chase after that wish fulfillment, to chase after what you want, what you need, and to tell yourself that you deserve to have it. And there is this doubt and fear inside of you that you deserve to have it that is stopping you. Well, if God really wants me to have it, they'll just what? Just plop it down in your lap. Like one day you'll be sitting there and suddenly a portal will open up and a diploma will just fall down and you'll be like, there you go. Business ready made for you. Like, no, you're gonna have to do it. You're gonna have to make that choice, and you're gonna have to make the choice to save the money, to make the time to go to that class every day, to work hard. You're gonna have to make those choices. You're going to have to make the choice to get up and go out there. You're going to have to make the choice to do that thing. To say, yeah, I'm going to get up out of bed today and I'm going to go to that place and go start this journey. I'm going to make that choice and start making those choices. Start giving yourself the permission that you're waiting for somebody else to give you for to live the life you want to live. Stop waiting and give yourself permission to do it right now. Yeah, there's something here about like Source is saying, like, I'm not judging you. God saying, I'm not judging you. You're judging you. Stop judging yourself because I think you're worth. Yeah, I have it 3 different times, and God card was there the whole time. Benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others. Exactly. Yeah, because some of you are looking at yourself just being like, I don't deserve it, or I can't give it to myself, or I can't do it. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Visionary, you were given the vision. So be the hero of your own journey. You know, Spirit says there's only so much we can do. We're the mediators here. And we'll do everything that we can. We'll do as much as we can, but there's only so much that we can do because we're just in spirit. You're the one that's here in 3D, and you're the one that's going to have to make those 3D choices of reaching out your hand, opening up that door, making that phone call, signing up for that class, making that website, making that product, launching that business, traveling and going to that place, having that conversation. I mean, because Spirit can, you know, encourage you to go. They can encourage that person to go. They can get the 2 of you to meet eyes. They can get both of you in the same room at the same time. But if you don't make the decision, and that person can even walk up to you and say, hey, I'd like to have a conversation with you about this. But you, at the end of the day, you have to be the one that's going to decide. You had to have made the choice to get up, to go to that place when you got the intuitive hint to do it. When you see that person, you're going to have to make the choice not to run away and to have that conversation. During that conversation, you're going to have to be brave and say the things that need to be said. You have the power to do that. See that in yourself. See that you have the power to do those things. Because look at all these cards, all of the like solar plex energy here. Like solar plexus energy with all this orange energy here. Well, the solar plexus is not yellow, but like there is this kind of feeling of like orange, yellow, like sacral energy. You have the passion, have the drive, and have the heart to give yourself the freedom to do this, the choice to do it. See that you have a choice and step into your masculine energy and make that choice and do it. Spirit can give you 1,000 different opportunities, but you have to have the bravery and the strength of yourself to say, yep, let's go. Let's sign that contract. Let's do that thing. Let's pull, you know, let's pull the trigger. Let's make it happen. Yeah, Spirit is saying, like, we will there and we will show up as much as you do. We will do as much as you do. Sometimes maybe more. But you're going to have to do your part. You are going to have to do your part. And Spirit's not saying that you're not doing that. They're just saying, like, if you're already doing that, keep doing it. You're going to have to keep doing it. Yeah, you're going to have to keep making those choices. You're going to have to keep making yourself get out of bed. You're going to have to keep showing up for that class. You're going to have to keep pushing forward even if you fail. You're going to have to keep posting those songs or posting those. You're going to have to keep deciding to get up today and make that art. You're going to have to keep deciding to get up and do those things. Or you can choose to keep living your life on autopilot and keep living a life that you're not satisfied and keep having that relationship that you actually really want. Or keep not having that relationship that you actually really want. You can't live your whole life on this. Spirit, it's in your hands. Spirit, it's in your hands. Spirit's like, no, it's not. It's literally in your hands. And there is a freedom. And when you allow that to sink in, yes, there is a nervousness, but there is also a freedom. Because Spirit is saying, like, know that we have your back and that we're there pushing you. Like, you can do it. But you're the one that actually has to step out there and do that. And I'm seeing, they're literally showing me somebody where, like, you know, like where a kid has like a performance or something like that, has like some kind of recital, and you're there standing behind the curtain and the spotlight is out there and your introduction music is playing, dun 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 dun, and Spirit is like in your back, like the parent being like, okay, get out there, okay, go. Like, you've taken the classes, you have your outfit on, you're right here, step out and do it. Like, Spirit can't do the dance for you, right? Spirit can have put that, you know, like, I think I want to take dance class and I think I want to go to these classes. I think, like, Spirit can do that, but you're right there and the stage is right there waiting for you. You have to actually, okay, and step out there. You know, and even if it's Spirit that pushes you out there onto the stage, Spirit can push you out there past the curtain and the spotlight's on you. But you're the one who has to do the dance. You're the one that has to remember, okay, I know this choreography, let's go. You're the one that actually has to perform it. But just know that Spirit's right there the whole time, you know. You look to the left and Spirit's there mouthing the words. Do it, you can do it. Remember your training. Big smile, this, that, yes. Blue skies are gonna cheer up, put on, yeah, let's go. You got it. You know? You can do it. You know? Blue skies are gonna clear up. Yeah. Gray skies are gonna clear up. Put on a happy face. Yeah, exactly. The blue sky is there. It's out. It's shining. It's your moment in the sun. Enjoy it. It's exhilarating and it's exhausting and it's all of those things all at the same time. But do it. Okay. Well, that's what I have for you. Thank you so very much for being here with me today. I really appreciate you guys as always, okay? I hope this brought the love, light, or clarity to your situation that you were really seeking for, okay? Thank you to your angels, spirits, guardians, masters, ancestors, and guides for guiding you here to get this information. Thank you to my angel, spirits, guardians, ancestors, masters, and guides for guiding me through getting these downloads and delivering them to you and keeping me safe as they always do, okay? I appreciate you guys ever so much. The YouTube things, like, share, subscribe, comment down below, and let me know if this resonated for you. Okay, if not, don't let it take from you. Let it be for somebody else. There'll be another message out there for you. I'm not sure why you're still here an hour, almost 2 hours in. If you feel like isn't resonating for you, but I appreciate the view. Thank you so much for the support. Love you. Okay. I appreciate you guys so very, very much. All right. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for the work that you're doing here, raising the vibration and making this world a better place one day at a time, by showing up for yourself and believing in yourself and, you know, shining your little bit of light, or your lot of bit of light, whichever one it is. I appreciate you guys so very much, and I'll see you lovelies in the last one. Okay. And the last one and the next one. Interesting. Bye.